Hello, everybody. Time for another episode of In the Glow. I am Deborah Kilgore, Director of Educational Programs at Paula's Choice. And
I am Shealeigh Heindel. I am the Product Education Specialist at Paula's Choice.
And what we thought we'd do today is bust some of those myths, right?
Mythbusters. I used to love Mythbusters.
I know.
Is that still a show?
It probably is. I'm sure you can catch episodes online somewhere, but I like that too.
Yeah.
So some of these skincare myths are just ones that they keep coming around and keep kind of recycling. So
yeah, and they're ones I think Paula herself has been combating her whole career.
Since some of her earliest books. So we kind of just want to set the record straight, and we realize that there's a lot of people that are new to Paula's Choice brand, and I think this is just a good opportunity to go over a few of these.
Yeah.
So,
and like anything else that we say here, everything is research driven, fact based. So maybe in 5 years, maybe something we say here won't necessarily be the same, but it all depends on what the research says, what's substantiated. It's never our opinion, it's following the facts, following the research, and what does that really say all the time.
I think that's a good point. You know, Paula's been obviously talking about this stuff for a long time, and of course we've had to pivot sometimes, and that's because that's what the research dictates. So I think that's a great point.
And I forgot to say that if you are tuning in, please ask any of the myths or questions about skincare that you're wondering during the show, and we can try to get to those. So chime in.
Yes. Give us your myths.
Exactly. First myth, though, number one. Age is not a skin type. Or age is a skin type, because I got to say what the myth is. So age is a skin type. True or not true?
Well, we'll just answer it for you. It's not true.
It's not true. You know, there's so much marketing that I still see. Like, I turn those pages in the magazines, and it's like, you know, here's this product if you're over 40, but like, you know, what if you're 39? That's so interesting. I've always wondered that, like that tipping point, like what would happen if you used it and you weren't that age? But long story short, age is not a skin type. I think people think that as they get older, things are going to happen, right? So as I get older, I'm going to have dry skin. Not necessarily true. I'm pushing up on 50, and I still have very oily skin.
Paula's still got oily skin.
Yes, indeed.
But with that being said, you can have dull, dehydrated skin, these symptoms of what people think more mature skin comes with. At the end of the day, you can have that in your teens, 20s. Same with oily skin, same with acne. Acne and the triggers of acne aren't just reserved for folks that are teenagers or in their 20s. The idea that adult acne is something specific that needs to be treated differently from acne as a whole is just completely bogus. It's all caused by the same root issues.
Yeah, and I think one thing that we probably want to stress is, of course, with age, things can happen, right? But there's just no guarantee that someone's skin type is going to change because they reach or pass a certain age. So that is definitely a myth.
Skincare fate is not
a
thing.
Skincare fate. I like that.
But speaking of clear and moving into the next myth, true or false, you can outgrow acne.
No, you don't. I mean, acne can happen with all ages. And it's so interesting because, you know, I was on the phone for years and years here at Paula's Choice as a part of the customer service group. And I would hear people in my age group, so late 40s, who would describe acne, but they would say, but it's not acne. They'd give all the symptoms and say, but it's not acne, it's something else. So acne can happen in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond.
Yeah, absolutely. And tying it back, those same triggers are not age specific. So to keep acne at bay, making sure that you are controlling excess oil, keeping your skin exfoliated using preferably a salicylic acid or BHA-based exfoliant, and making sure you're utilizing products that can help combat any bacteria that could be causing blemishes. So that could be benzoyl peroxide, it could be azelaic acid, whichever one your skin prefers. And our clear line is a great option if you're looking to do all of those things, control excess oil, make sure your skin's exfoliated and treat bacteria without causing any excess dryness or sensitivity, without using anything alcohol-based, anything that's gonna tingle or irritate your skin. Clear is just a great go-to.
I think I heard another myth in there too.
Oh,
One coming. But I think
it.
that's a great point and a great time to call out Clear because, you know, regardless of your age too. So Clear isn't like a preteen or teen
right.
Group of products, right? It really is for everybody. And the beauty about our products is that you can kind of mix and match. So you love your Resist products or, you know, whatever other products you might be using from Paula's Choice, you could insert these in.
Absolutely.
You could add just the benzoyl peroxide. So yeah, don't shy away from Clear just because you think you might, you know, it might not be for you due to age.
Yeah.
So not true.
And a shout out too, so the regular strength BHA, if you don't like the slip in our Skin Perfecting 2% BHA liquid, give this one a shot because you're getting the same 2% BHA in a liquid form, but it doesn't have the ingredient in it that's causing that slip or that really slick kind of hydrating feeling.
Yeah.
It just feels
Just
like water.
like water.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
give
that's
that
a
one
good
a shot.
point. Very good point.
Is there a myth that says your skin can only regenerate so many times, so you shouldn't start using retinol too early? Does that sound familiar at all? Or is that like is there any truth to that statement?
Yeah, I think there's some confusion. No. I mean, I
No?
think there's confusion related to, there's a couple things underlying there, right? So I think some people confuse retinol with exfoliation, and some people are concerned that they could over-exfoliate, but that's not true. I mean, if it's tied to exfoliation, if that's what someone is thinking and maybe using it is like regenerating too many skin cells too fast, that's just not the way that those products work.
Or wondering if there's a finite number of times that your skin cells turn over
Yeah.
the course of your life. That's not true. Oh, with exposure to environmental damage, with age, time, your skin can slow down in its ability to turn over dead skin. But that's why we use well-formulated
I was going to say, that's one of
exfoliants.
the reasons you would want to use a retinol.
Yeah.
So exfoliation is getting those dry dead surface skin cells off. Retinol is really talking to your skin and helping them kind of, you know, just regulate and generate better skin cells.
Absolutely. And then retinol does not thin your skin. It's not, you know, like you're going to
another
start
myth.
using it in your 20s and then by the time you're 50 you've got paper thin skin. It's not going to be the case. You're actually probably going to be looking pretty good as long as you're wearing sunscreen.
Exactly.
Without retinol.
Yep.
Awesome. Moving on, myth number 3, natural is better.
I know a lot of people think it is.
No,
No.
hard
Not
pass.
necessarily. Hard pass. I'm gonna pass it. But you know, again, this is one of those things that you see it kind of everywhere and all the time. And there's a lot of misinformation, I think, when it comes to natural ingredients, because of course there are brilliant natural ingredients, and we actually have, you know, a line that is dedicated to natural. But at Paula's Choice, we really kind of love that perfect balance of nature and science, right? So, I mean, there's bad ingredients, bad natural ingredients, just like there are good ones.
Yeah, and I found with a lot of natural products, they tend to have additional natural ingredients that can sensitize your skin. So essential oils, anything fragrant that make it more spa-like, those ingredients can make your skin sensitized. Over time, you might not see it right away. But if you do prefer to use the natural version versus the synthetic version of these natural ingredients, then we've got our source for you that are free of the irritants, but you're still getting a natural-based formula.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
What about getting facials? I mean, a lot of people love getting facials.
Yeah, I think there's a whole sensorial experience
Yeah.
surrounding that too, and I think part of the concern is just the manipulation of the skin, right? So what does the facial consist of? You don't want to over manipulate the skin because that's problematic in and of itself.
Yeah, as an esthetician, I think that facials should be considered more of like a relaxation time, a you time thing, but you do come across that over manipulation of skin. If you're doing it every once in a while and when you're at home you're diligent about not over manipulating your skin when you're applying product, it should be fine here and there, but there are better self-care practices that don't over manipulate your skin. And massage on your body is going to be different than massage on your face. in that situation.
Yeah, and I think some facials too, if they're doing like steam or really warm cloths or things that are hot, or even, you know, the flip side, if it was too cold, could be problematic. So I think just be cautious. It's not something I think you have to do all the time.
Yeah.
I think the occasional facial is probably okay, but just be mindful of kind of what they're doing.
Yeah, and a point too that I'm thinking that actually leads into the next myth is during facials, sometimes you have products that are at a much higher concentration applied to your face, be it like an exfoliating mask or a really potent serum that you might not be able to buy over the counter that's just reserved for the spa room. And oftentimes those products result in a very tingly sensation. So, true or false? Tingling means something is working better.
Oh my gosh, I used to really believe this one. That's why my skin was probably so, part of the reason it was so jacked up years ago, but I really thought that was true. I was like, it is working. Matter of fact, I want it to work even more, so put a little more on, more tingling, more burning.
Yeah.
No.
It feels like results.
Yeah.
That's what tingling feels like.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, that really, those sensations, that tingling or stinging is really your skin. Your skin is like, hello, I don't like this. This isn't good for me. And it's kind of our skin's way of telling us that this is a problem.
Yeah. It's like your danger, Will Robinson sensor. Like, avoid it.
Danger, danger.
Sometimes I get a little bit of tingling when I put on an AHA. Is that okay?
I think that's a great question, because I think with active products like that, there can be an immediate sensation. So one thing you have to do is gauge, like, how much is it tingling, right? So if you notice it and it's subtle and it dissipates really quickly, we would say that's okay. But if it's, you know, if it's really tingling or stinging and that lingers, well, first of all, rinse that off, and then we probably need to talk about something else for you.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that all AHAs are going to result in that same tingling sensation. Maybe you just have an AHA product that's too strong, or maybe you've used some other products that are causing your skin to be sensitized, and now you're going back to your regular routine, and that AHA is now tingling.
Yeah.
So it's taking a look back at what other products you've been using. And then it might just merit just a step down. You might need to apply it less frequently, but your skin always knows best. So if it persists, if it lasts longer than, you know, maybe just a couple seconds, it's worth reconsidering.
Yeah, that's where our customer service team, and we always give them a nod, but that's where they really can kind of walk you through that.
Yeah.
If you have specific questions. And I think one of the products, and they're getting better. Like, there's really great toners on the market now, but toners were kind of notorious for like that after application tingle sensation.
Yeah, I mean, loaded with anything from SD alcohol to natured alcohol that gives you that really astringent finish to menthol,
peppermint, camphor, any of those you want to shy away from. So using an option like a toner that doesn't include those ingredients and actually has a load of skin beneficial ingredients is a great alternative.
Absolutely.
Somebody feels a slight stinging when they use benzoyl peroxide, and they've been using it for a while. Is that okay?
So slight stinging, the same question would kind of apply, like, what does that really mean for that person in terms of comfort level, and how long does it last? Yeah. So again, I've probably heard that with benzoyl peroxide, and when I used it years ago, I experienced that myself, but it would go away very quickly. So again, I think in those cases, that's okay. But people really have to gauge.
And one nice thing, sorry, I'll chime in, that about Paula's Choice products is that if there is if there is some sort of reaction that skin has, like with an AHA or a BHA, we always counter it with soothing ingredients
for sure.
Our products.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because there is no getting around that AHAs, BHAs, benzoyl peroxide, retinols, these ingredients are just bioactive, right? And so there are things happening on skin after application. But I think that's a good mention that we do balance it with those skin soothers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you'll find a handful of them in any one of those types of products, let alone, there's probably more than a handful. There's probably a good 5 to 6 skin soothing ingredients, plus balanced out with hydrators as well, which can serve as a nourishing buffer in those formulas.
We have a toner question. What's your guys' favorite toners, and how important is a toner? Why should you add it to your routine? Is it an overrated step?
Interesting. Yeah. What's your favorite toner?
Mine is the Advanced Replenishing Toner. So that is the toner in the Resist for Normal to Dry Skin line. I love it because it feels like a liquid lotion. It's incredibly restoring and replenishing. And oftentimes, if it's really hot out, if I'm getting sweaty, I can use that as my moisturizer and be good to go. When it comes to toners being an overrated step, first off though, what's your favorite toner?
Well, I love that. So I love the Resist Advanced Replenishing Toner as well. I use 2 of them. I use the toner in the morning and one at night. And I also like the Skin Balancing Pore Reducing Toner.
Why do you like it?
Niacinamide, and just, you know, it's got a great bunch of ingredients. So we kind of think you can't get too many of those ingredients, antioxidants, skin beneficial ingredients. And I just, yeah, I mean, I love it as an extra step. It removes anything that may have been missed. It's depositing some great ingredients. And like you said, in the summer, I really could get away with that being, you know, the Resist toner, my nighttime moisturizer, if I wanted to.
And for me, it's not an essential step. You don't absolutely need it. It's not going to make or break your routine. But the reason why I personally keep it in my routine is because even if I use the best cleanser, the most nourishing, the most comforting, my skin still feels a little bit dry or tight afterward. And so if I can restore any amount of hydration to then set myself up for success with the rest of my routine, I'm going to do it because it takes 3 seconds. And there's no way for me to out-lazy myself. I think
people who've not used a toner should really test it out and see what they think. And we have some great options. And as we transition from summer into fall and then into winter, toner can be another great way to get an extra layer of hydration on skin without having to opt for a more rich cream.
Absolutely.
So that's a good question.
Perfect.
What do we have? What else do we have on the
got a
list?
last
Oh,
one.
this is a good one.
some
Hold
water
on.
before this one.
Wait, hold on. We need a little. Yeah. Does it feel?
Oh, we're gonna.
Does it
test
feel
our
different?
hydration.
We were testing our hydration. Drinking. So drinking water takes care of dry skin. Now we're being goofy, but that's okay. I like it.
False.
False.
It does not. Dry skin is your skin type versus dehydration, which even drinking 2 gallons of water, a gallon of water, isn't going to necessarily fix even dehydrated skin. But dehydrated skin is a skin condition that you're dealing with that could change. It could fluctuate. You can exacerbate it by going on planes to using irritating ingredients. You might see dehydration come and go.
Yeah.
But dry skin,
that is your
that's
skin
you.
type. And it's really more about, and I don't want to use the word managing, I feel like that's not right, but it is kind of more about managing dry skin and using products that are going to give, essentially dry skin is lacking some of the natural lipids and oils in skin that would make it feel, you know, more soft and less dry. So replenishing those with skincare products is really the best way to go. Water just can't do that, because really, if it could, then we wouldn't need some of these products. We could just drink a bunch of water and problem solved, right? But I know people who drink a ton of water and still have dry skin.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you've got dehydrated skin, load your skin up with hyaluronic acid. Ceramides can benefit both dehydrated skin and dry skin. And just manage your expectations. So using well-formulated products, taking a look at what other products you're using that could be making those, either that dehydrated skin condition or your dry skin worse.
Right.
And planning from there, making sure that you're using the right products and replenishing where you can.
Yeah, and make no mistake, obviously drinking water is
water.
great. We want you to drink water. It's just not the solve for dry skin on its own. And it probably does have some benefit, but just again, going back, if it were the solve, everybody could just drink a bunch of water and no more dry skin.
No more dehydration.
We have some more toner-related comments and questions.
Okay.
First, a comment from Mother of Wolves 1. I just started adding in the Advanced Recovery Toner, maybe Advanced Replenishing Toner, she means, and I'm loving it. Thanks for changing the toner game. I shied away from toners for a long time since growing up. They were all so astringent. So that's awesome.
Oh, that's good.
Awesome.
That's what we're talking about, exactly.
Absolutely.
And then I think, Deb, you were hitting on this before, but can we use toners and skip a moisturizer? The person uses pore reducing toner and loves it.
Yeah, I mean, you could. It's really up to you. So I think that's the beauty of it. I don't know. It kind of goes back and forth, right? Because you have a lot of leeway to make decisions about what's best for you. There isn't necessarily like these right or wrongs, except sunscreen every single day. We always have to sneak that in. But I think if that feels good and you don't feel like you need any extra hydration, then I think that's perfectly fine.
Absolutely. Yeah. As opposed, if you have dry skin, you're probably not going to get all of the essential lipids that your skin needs to feel comfortable longer term. But you do you. As long as you're wearing sunscreen, whatever feels good, especially in the summer, as long as you're applying your skincare products, then that's all we can ask for from the get-go, whatever gets you using them.
And I actually put my toner in an opaque bottle and I spray toner all over. It's so good after the shower. So there's my little tip.
I like that.
We're getting some comments about skipping a moisturizer, and people are kind of not agreeing with us. Can we comment on that?
Well, I mean, so we're not saying don't use a moisturizer, but if somebody wanted to skip one because the toners have such great ingredients in them, so they are hydrating, they are giving your skin, antioxidants, skin restoring ingredients, skin replenishing ingredients, it absolutely is an option.
Yeah, but if you do have dehydrated, dry skin, don't skip a moisturizer. Your skin probably needs it to feel comfortable, to function properly. But if you've got oily combination skin, you don't necessarily need a moisturizer as long as you're using other steps like a nourishing toner to really fortify and replenish your skin. And at the end of the day, too, maybe you only apply moisturizer in certain areas. I know not all of us apply a moisturizer on every part of our face. If our nose or our T-zone is feeling oily, it's the same sort of situation. If your skin doesn't need it right then because it's functioning properly, maybe over-functioning, like if you've got a lot of excess oil, why add a bunch of excess oil on top of it?
Yeah, Foodie Chow says, I skip moisturizer, but never my serums, and it helps my oily skin. If I use a moisturizer every day at night, I get clogged pores, but I definitely use it every morning.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think that's the beauty of it is like experiment, see what's good for your skin. Your skin will let you know what it likes and what it doesn't like. And I think if we just kind of pay attention to that, I have like 10 Paula's Choice products that I use regularly, but someday, I use all of them, and other days I'll use a handful of them. So just kind of depending on what's going on.
Absolutely.
A couple more questions we can get to is using BHA during the morning and at night too much for skin?
Depending on your tolerance, twice a day can be totally fine, especially if you are prone to really stubborn pore congestion. If you are worried about over-applying, maybe you just apply in the areas that you do notice either redness, pore congestion, bumps, blemishes, things like that, as opposed to applying it all over. Maybe you only apply it all over once a day or every other day.
Yeah.
But twice a day, fundamentally, as long as it's not irritating your skin, it's not tingling, it's not overly sensitizing, totally fine.
Yeah, I think we have quite a few, consumers and employees who mentioned that they exfoliate twice per day, and that works really well for them to keep their, skin clear and glowing. So.
Absolutely.
And Foodie Chow says, thanks both. Really good to understand how skincare is so personal and to get educated about the different products.
Oh, good. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Bianca Van Wersch is wondering, she says she's used BHA for 2 years now and thinks it's a life-changing product. But sometimes she thinks that she needs to give her skin some rest for 2 weeks or so. What is your opinion on that? Taking a rest from an exfoliant.
I'd be curious why she thinks that. Is something happening that is making her come to that conclusion? Generally speaking, no. You don't need to break, but if someone wants to take a break, then they could.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no reason that I've heard of that before though. I've heard of people kind of cycling on and off products. I just look at it as a matter of personal preference. There's no real reason that you have to do that.
No, unless, again, if it's sensitizing your skin, if that's why you're taking a break, then maybe look at using a more mild form of BHA or applying less often during the time that you are applying it. Otherwise, though, if it's just to kind of recalibrate, it's not really necessary. Your skin is functioning just as it should, turning over dead skin, and your skin's not going to stop needing that extra support.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello Gregory Official is wondering if a salicylic acid cleanser followed by a glycolic acid toner would be irritating or if they would deactivate each other.
Well, they won't deactivate each other, and there would be some, you know, so there's, I think, 0.5% salicylic acid in our clear cleanser. And so cleansers, because they're rinse-off products, that salicylic acid isn't remaining behind. It's a great prep to, let's say, the rest of the clear routine, right? Kind of kicks things off. But it wouldn't be too much, because essentially you'd be, that cleanser you rinse away, and the AHA is what would remain. So no issues there.
Yeah, and just making sure that that cleanser doesn't have any harsh surfactants that could be irritating the skin. Because let's say applying both back to back does cause some sensitivity. It's hard to distinguish what is actually causing it if the formula itself isn't well formulated from the get-go. And then with the AHA toner, some of those AHA toners in that liquid form can be kind of instantly absorbed by skin and might be more inclined to cause some irritation faster. So
versus like a lotion or a gel, right?
Which has a more kind of slower absorption rate. So if it doesn't cause you any sensitivity, go right ahead. There's nothing wrong with that, but just making sure that if it does, take a closer look at the formula.
All right, we have time for one more question. My Angel Hess is wondering what products should they use to tackle dark spots on the body?
First off, wear your sunscreen. That's going to help prevent them from worsening, getting
darker, yeah.
And then as far as dark spots on the body,
I mean, the thing is, they're no different than dark spots on your face, right? So dark spots are dark spots are dark spots, no matter where they are, and which means those same sort of ingredients, which I think you were going to go into, will apply.
Yeah, so my favorite way of treating that is by using our 10% AHA body lotion and then mixing in some C15. That way you're getting the brightening benefits of vitamin C at a pretty concentrated level at 15%. And then mixed in with the AHA, AHA can soften the appearance of discoloration while allowing for that vitamin C to work a little bit more effectively by kind of clearing the way of that dead skin.
Yeah.
And then sunscreen.
And sunscreen. And I think if there's deep discolorations, or let's say you've already tried the C15, then that's when we can look at other options. We have a C25, which is 25% ascorbic acid, and then the skin lighteners, which are hydroquinone and AHA or BHA. Those are our dark spot erasers, and hydroquinone really still is considered kind of the gold standard for those deeper discolorations.
Absolutely, but the booster is so easy to add in. I would say start there.
Yeah, start there for sure.
And you can also get the antioxidant benefits applying it on your face as well, so head to toe. And then if that doesn't work, there are more targeted options like Deb was saying. Perfect. Well, thanks for tuning in,
I think that's
guys.
it. We got through our little list here. Yeah, thanks for watching, and we look forward to chatting with you next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.